Hello, and welcome one and all once again to Pod-ket Monsters, our weekly Pokemon podcast. That magic day is almost upon us when we will be once again graced by a new Pokemon game, with the new Pokemon Snap releasing on April 30th. But as we count down the remaining 12 days until that wonderful date, we're still talking Pokemon. With me as always is my co-host, the Zapdos to my Articuno, Dustin Cunningham. How are you, Dustin?
Doing great, Jeff. How are you doing today?
So far, so good. This is my second podcast of the day, so I'm already getting tired.
Nice.
But rounding out our legendary bird trio this week, our Moltres from 61indie.com, it's Harry Loizides. Welcome to the show,
Hello.
Harry. How are you today?
I'm ready to talk about Pokemon.
Who isn't?
Right? That's my literal everyday life.
Dustin walks into buildings, throws open the door. I'm ready to talk about Pokemon.
That's a great opening line for every interview.
So, as is what we can safely now call a tradition when we have guests on the show, we would like Harry to tell us some of his favorite Pokemon memories. So go.
Yeah, okay. So, I guess my first memory, which always kind of sticks with me, is when a random friend at school, like in third grade, gave me a Weedle card. He's like, I have a million of these. You want one? I'm like, sure. And then that kind of spun into the anime, then the Game Boy games, and then a whole life that hasn't stopped talking about Pokemon. So that's always been a really cool thing. One of my greatest memories was during the Pokemon Crystal Day, where the Pokemon Center in New York City opened up, which is a store in New York City near Rockefeller Plaza, which is now the Nintendo World Store. And you were able to bring your Pokemon cartridge into the hub, and it does this cool animation, and you get a Celebi in your Game Boy Crystal. And that just blew my mind. I'm like, how is this technology happening?
Yeah,
And it
that's
still blows
cool.
my mind.
I was
So-
always so jealous of that because obviously, I did not live close enough for that sort of thing.
Texas is pretty close to New York, right?
It's only like 2,000 miles.
A couple of
like-
days, no big deal. But I certainly my parents were not going to make a trip to New York so that I could go get a Celebi.
I'm very spoiled to be in the tri-state area, so I can just, oh, there's a cool thing happening in the city. I'll take a 50-minute train ride. And
Yeah,
now
worth it.
Oh yeah, oh, it's so comforting. Like every time I go to the city, I always try to go to the Nintendo World Store and be like, oh, let's see what's happening. Oh, here's this cool thing. Well, I just spent $80. Guess I'll see you guys next time.
See you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
definitely a goal of mine to go over there.
Oh my god. And it's
It'd be
so
so cool.
great to also go with people who aren't from the area, because then you can see how excited they are for the first time, taking a million pictures. And I'm like, I'm not 10 out of 10 every time, but I'm at least an 8 out of 10 with excitement, because there's always something new or another display that's really exciting to look
Is
at.
it in Times Square or near Times Square?
It's like a 6-minute walk from Times Square, but it's right near Rockefeller
Okay.
Plaza, which is like the Today Show in the
Yeah,
morning.
30 Rock.
Yeah, that's exactly where they are. Like, so if you look at the TV on the Today Show, you see the corner of the Nintendo store all the time.
Man, if
Yeah.
I were a kid with my family and like mom and dad wanted to go, watch the taping of the Today Show, I'd be like, okay, cool. I'll be hanging out in Nintendo World.
Right.
You come get me when you're done.
Well, they don't open until 11 usually, so you're stuck with your mom until then.
So, first question for Harry: what is your favorite Pokemon generation?
So at first I'm like, I don't know. Well, obviously it's like Johto and Kanto because it's like Avi, but like aside from
And let's not forget Hoenn. Like, come on, but whatever.
We can talk about that later. But aside from the standard two, like the 1-2 punch, I really like Sinnoh before it was popular, like before this whole like remaster thing happened. Mostly because of the new Pokemon, which I feel like is the opposite of your opinions. From what I remember. But like I thought like the thing that really captured my attention was that they were using older Pokemon and upping them into new evolutions. So like it was really rounding out the worlds for me, where it's like, okay, my Lickitung from Johto and Kanto is now applicable in Sinnoh because of all these new evolutions.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really cool spin and angle that they were doing, especially because what's his name? Professor Rowan was all about evolution, so that really piqued my interest a lot.
It's not so much, and it could be more like that. Like when I don't think of Sinnoh as like one of my favorites, it could be more because I don't associate those evolutions with it anymore. Like when it first came out, I'm sure I was like, oh wow, these evolutions are so unique to this region. It's a new thing, but generations down the line, it kind of blurs a little bit, and so now it's like I remember the Pokemon that are exclusive to Sinnoh, but the ones that evolved from earlier Pokemon, I kind of lose track of the timeline when those evolutions came into play. So I might not be given it enough credit.
Well, also in your defense, there's like 1,000 variations, so
Right.
it's kind of bonkers to keep track of everything. And like in Gen 4, like the gym leaders aren't that memorable. Cynthia's like the elite champion that everyone remembers. Like that's the cool angle with it. And like Galactic is cool where they want to like destroy the universe and make a new universe. Like stuff like that I really liked. And that was also the first game I tried shiny hunting like hardcore, and I was very unsuccessful.
Very unsuccessful.
So I spent like 30 hours being like, gotta follow those boxes. What's happening? And then it's just okay, cool.
Are you a big shiny hunter?
With Pokemon Go, I am.
Yeah.
It's attainable. But like I always tried once I figured out like, oh, this is a thing that you can keep track of, and I looked on Cerebi.net, and I just never got good at it. So I just kind of, if I get one, cool in the mainline games. Like I got a Azumarill in XY one time and a Hydreigon in one of the games somewhere, like randomly. So
yeah,
those are cool. But I try to manage expectation with that, being like, my expectation 0. If I get one, yay. If not,
I was going to ask, like, what's the most eggs you ever hatched attempting to hatch a shiny? Just to see if you're as insane as I am.
Well, I don't. At that point, when I was like in my Hoenn days, I would try that for hours and hours and hours on that route with the Pokemon breeder, where you just go left and right over and over and over again. Maybe like 200, but that's nowhere close to what you should be doing. So
no, I did like literally 2,000 on trying to get a.
This is why I don't shiny hunt.
I was trying to get a shiny Rufflet.
Okay.
In one game, that's the most I ever did, was trying to get the shiny Rufflet, and I hatched 2,000 eggs and then gave up. And then a buddy of mine who likes to do the shiny hunting as well, he's just like, hey, I have an extra shiny Rufflet. If you just wanted that, I could give that to you. I was like, you jerk. You let me do that for weeks?
Awesome. That's very funny.
Okay, well, so what's your favorite Pokemon film?
I'm going to be basic and say the first 3. Depending on which day of the week, it's the first one, the second one, or the third one with either Mewtwo, Lugia, or Entei/Unknown. I'll be honest, I kind of stopped watching the movies after the Celebi one, where it's like Professor Oak in super young age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And maybe I watched a few other ones like the Ranger game, the Pokemon Rangers.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool one. But then like they all kind of bled together, and they were so frequent that it became kind of overwhelming.
It's a lot.
Like if I just zone out for like 2 years, there's like 5 more movies. I'm like, okay,
I think I was personally like, for me with the films, it was kind of around the like Hoenn era movies is where I started to kind of fall off a little bit. And I think I've seen almost all of them at this point now, but it was like years later I went back and just like binged a bunch of them.
Right. And of course, Detective Pikachu, I'm a big fan of. I'm excited for that sequel.
I think it's funny when we asked the favorite film, I think a lot of people so far have just been like kind of forgetting that Detective Pikachu counts.
Oh, I love Detective Pikachu. Like I watch that, kind of like Dustin, I watch that maybe once every 4 or 5 weeks just to be like, dude, I like this movie.
If I just need a feel-good movie, I put it on to like fall asleep to. I'm like, I just need to watch something like this.
And I kind of almost don't ever want to play the games because I'm so into the world that they made that I don't want to go back and be like, well, this is the differences and this is what I like about this version. Like I just kind of want to enjoy the movie as is and be like, just give me the sequel, like inject that in my veins. So
I talked about it in one of our early episodes that I might make a goal for myself to play through Detective Pikachu and just give updates as like we go through, like each episode, just give updates of my progress. I haven't decided if I want to do that yet or not, but
well, they announced like 2 years ago that it was going to come into the Switch. So I don't know what's going on with that. Like,
don't know what's happening
with Pokemon Sleep and Pokemon Plus Plus or whatever. Like, there's a lot of announcements that are just like, we're just quietly never going to bring these up.
Sometimes they just announce things and like, maybe people will like this, and then they don't, and they're like, well, pretend we never told them about that.
Did the Pokemon Toothbrush thing come out?
What's up?
Did the Pokemon Toothbrush game come out?
Oh yeah, that came out like a year ago.
Oh,
I used that a lot. Not a lot, but I used it when it came out just as a morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I was a 7-year-old kid, I'd be all about it. Because it's like chibi not chibi, but like almost like those fat characters that are squishy. I don't know what genre that
Kind
know
of
what
like
you're
a
talking
plushie character almost. Like
yeah, oh, and like in Pokemon Go, there's a bunch of stickers that look just like that.
Yes.
So it's very clear they're
okay.
trying to make that.
I know
brand
exactly which
stylish
stickers you're
thing.
talking about in Pokemon Go because I hate them. I hate them
I don't
so
like
much.
them either. Like they're chunky and like for some people that must be horribly adorable for like Pikachu form, but I don't know. It's just not my jam. I'm like, all right, I get, or like Derpy Doduo, and I'm like, okay, like it's cute, but it's not Harry's jam, so we're just moving on.
So
And
Harry,
I can brush my teeth like a normal human.
yeah. What is your favorite Pokemon type?
So I like water and dark.
Okay,
But
you're on my side with the water types here.
Yeah, I'm not a fire guy. Sorry, Dustin. But if anything, there's more types that I don't like than I do like. Like I find normal terribly boring. I find ice lukewarm, which is ironic because it's ice. A lot of the poison ones are hit and miss.
There's a lot of ice Pokemon that I'm like, okay, I mean that seems a little on the nose. You made an ice cream cone, that's great. But
and like bugs were jokes until Sinnoh and X and Y, I feel like. So it's a lot of types. I'm just like, okay. Like I guess I'll have it if I need to.
Even like Articuno is one of those Pokemon that I always still just associate with water. I think it's just because of Gen 1. Like, I really just always associate Articuno. And I forget that Articuno is like an ice type. It's like one of the few cool ice type Pokemon.
And with normal types, I often think, like, I just can't wait until they have some cool normal type. Like, it's because it's so rare. Like there's like Kangaskhan. And that's kind of it for cool normal types.
Well, I do like
think they could do
I think he's pretty
Yeah. I think they could do away with normal type, and almost every normal type Pokemon could fall into some other category.
Well,
who
it's
knows?
just,
Maybe
it's
they'll
also
add new
confusing
types.
that half of them too are now fairy. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
all right, like what are we doing with this, guys? Like,
Yeah.
either commit to fairy everyone or don't
Like-
confuse me.
Kangaskhan could be a ground type Pokemon easily. You know, there's so many different like.
Same thing with Tauros.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be Taro. It could be fighting and ground.
Yeah, that would work
Anyway,
too.
sorry.
I mean, I'm pretty
I
sure
wanna-
they already, have, at least in the cards, I think there's at least one version of Tauros that was a fighting type, fighting energy. I can't remember. I've been doing research. What is your favorite Pokemon?
Okay, so I made a list because I can't decide. So, do you guys want me to do top 10, top 5? I can't pick one.
Give me top 5. Give me top 5.
Okay, so top 5, Blastoise and Umbreon for sure, because that's Gen 1 and 2.
That's
And
two.
like,
That's 2 right there. You said top 5, Blastoise and Umbreon. I was like, wow, it came coming out of the
well,
gate.
you said 5.
I thought you were
got
giving me
more.
like those were both in the 5 spot.
Oh no. Sorry. I meant like I always have a hard time picking like this is my favorite 5 in sequential order. It's just like here's a cluster of 5 that I very much enjoy. I really like Porygon Z, that whole line. They're all so derpy in a good way. Rowlet, I really like a lot. So that's 4. And then hold on, let me pick one more. I really like Unknown. I'm just gonna be like that guy. I think Unknown is super interesting.
That's
the
a unique
backstory with
pick.
it is super rad. The alphabet always blew my mind when I was like 12. I'm like, that looks like an A. Let me spell the sentence out like a super.
I think
was
that's
really
a pretty
enjoyable.
pretty cool pick because it's not something that I think most people would necessarily put in their top. Like, I don't think anyone is like, I hate Unknown, but I doubt there's many people who are that's in their top 5. That's pretty cool.
I
Yeah,
think
no, go, Justin. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I think Unknown's cool too because of the puzzles and Ruby and Sapphire where you're like trying to get the Reggies and there's like the unknown writing and stuff like that. Or like no, it's not that game, is it?
It's not the
what
Reggies. The
game has,
Reggies are basically Braille.
Braille.
Yeah, they're
Gold
Braille,
and
but there's
Silver.
Gold and Silver. I was gonna say I knew it was one of them that used like
Yeah, they had the unknown
to
alphabet.
spell things out. Yeah, it was super.
Yeah,
cool.
but I think there must be other callbacks to them too, but I can't remember any of them right now. But yeah, that always blew my mind. And not everyone's favorite has to be overused Pokemon in battle. Like I think Unknown is pretty rad in that kind of angle.
That's for me, like Scyther. I don't really see a whole lot of people really talk about like how they use Scyther all the time. It's always like Scizor or something else.
Because final evolutions are usually stronger. So
True that.
Okay, well, so today's main topic is an opportunity for us to all flex some creative Pokemon muscles and put on our game dev hats. We are going to be pitching some Pokemon spin-off games, but first, as always, the news. So we mentioned at the top of the show, new Pokemon Snap comes out April 30th. It's not too late to order it if you haven't already. Obviously, Dustin and I are very excited about Pokemon Snap. How you feeling about it, Harry?
I am very excited. I've been very good at not watching anything for the most part because I want to kind of go in blind. I'll occasionally accidentally see something on the internet because it's the internet. But I don't really know anything about it other than there might be a day and night cycle. There's some glowy Pokemon.
But you don't know which Pokemon they're going to have. You're going to be surprised by all that.
I know they said there's over 200. And like I think we mentioned this off cast. Like I like Cerebi.net a lot. That's usually my go-to spot. And they said so far they've showcased over 100. So there must be like 100 more that they haven't shown. So that's pretty exciting even if you have been.
It's pretty diverse too. From what I've seen, like the Pokemon that they've shown so far, I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Like, it's not just all the 150. It's like
I'm
a diverse cast.
I'm really hoping to get some surprises. Like, there's a part of me that is still hoping that they're going to have some regional exclusive Pokemon that they haven't told any about. I'm not thinking that's very likely, but if it does happen, I would be so stoked. Because it's like when they introduced Meltan and Melmetal, that was a Pokemon Go thing, and then they brought it into the Let's Go, right? It was in there as well. So it could be that sort of thing where it's something special that they introduce in the new Pokemon Snap, and then you can download it in Sword and Shield from a patch or something like that. Who knows? I just hope that they do something exciting and different that we're not expecting with that. But that's April 30th. Before that, Niantic has announced the next Pokemon Go event. This is the Sustainability Week event, which features an increase in spawns for Pokemon such as Grimer and Trubbish, and adds Binacle and Shiny Trubbish into the game. And it runs from April 20th, 10 o'clock local time, to April 25th, 20 o'clock local time.
8 p.m. for
8 p.m. for those without military time in their mindset. Let's see what else we got here. Harry provided all these details for us, so thank you for that, Harry. But it's he said the event features increased spawns of Grimer, Drillbur, Trubbish, and more. You got some new Pokemon in the eggs, including Diglett, Tangela, Goldeen, Badoo, Cherubi, Finneon, and Drillbur. Which I think I'd be excited to get some eggs that have the Finneon. I'd like a shiny Finneon. That would be cool if that could happen sometime soon. Who knows if they even have the shiny sprite yet? I bet Harry does.
I don't believe it is in Pokemon Go, so I'm sorry to.
Like, what's the delay on that? Why when they introduce these Pokemon, why don't they just have the shiny sprites in there?
Sorry, I'll call Mr. Pokemon and
call Mr. Pokemon. Let him know.
Also, they want money, so they want you to come back in 3 months when the shiny's released.
Sure. Also, when you're on the phone with Mr. Pokemon, let them know that we also would like Mega Evolutions back.
Yeah. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm on hold, so when I get back to him, I will definitely call him.
Other things that come along with the event, you can get a free T-shirt in-game from the shop, and special rewards for doing the in-life tasks for the sustainability campaign, which include reporting, picking up trash, planting trees, and helping out local causes. I'm curious to see how that works.
But honesty policy.
Oh yeah, I picked up trash. It's like you just took out your own trash.
Yeah. I threw away my garbage.
And then the other Pokemon Go news for this week, to celebrate new Pokemon Snap's upcoming release, beginning April 29th through May 2nd, Pokemon Go is having a photography-themed event featuring a bunch of Pokemon that are going to be featured in new Pokemon Snap. And as always, Smeargle will be appearing in photos occasionally, so this is a good event to attempt to catch one if you haven't got one. And more importantly, Shiny Smeargle is going to be have increased odds of appearing, so this is a good chance to get that Shiny Smeargle, which is hard to come by.
Yeah, it hasn't been released yet, so I think April 29th.
I mean, it's hard to come by in the regular games. Like you can breed it, but they don't have a huge spawn rate in any of the games they've appeared in. So
this is totally off topic, but do you think Smeargle's anybody's favorite Pokemon?
It has. Listen, I really liked Smeargle when it first came out because the idea of Sketch blew my mind. So I spent so many hours trying to figure out like a perfect combination. until I realized that he's a terrible Pokemon to battle with.
He's just not good for battle.
No.
I bet there are. I mean, he's a dog, right? So, like, people like dogs.
Is he?
If anything, he's like a ferret.
I
have.
don't know.
He's definitely not a
curious.
dog.
You don't think he's a dog? I think Smeargle's a dog. Smeargle.
Yeah. All right, now we have to investigate.
I'm looking up the image of Smeargle. He's got a long tail, but that's for painting. But otherwise, I think it's a very dog-esque. He has a Snoopy quality to him,
You're insane.
I mean, I need to look at this too because I don't know.
It's called the Painter Pokemon, which does not help him. It's not a dog. It stands on hind legs. It is.
Oh, because Pokemon's never made a Pokemon that is based on an animal that walks on 4 legs, and then they made it walk on 2 legs.
Tell me a dog Pokemon that walks on its hind legs only.
I mean, I haven't seen a dog Pokemon yet, other than Smeargle.
Lycanroc, okay, that's good.
Lycanroc does, but he's more of a.
But I would say wolf.
Yeah, a little more wolf. Regardless, Smeargle, shiny Smeargle, going to be in Pokemon Go.
I'm going to write this down to challenge you later.
Yes, please. I mean, I'd be happy to be corrected. I don't mind being wrong, as long as I learned something, right? So also as part of this event in Pokemon Go, you will have some camera-themed apparel for your avatar available in the shop for no additional charge. That's all the news we have, unless you guys came up with anything in the last 30 seconds.
Can't think of anything. I think that pretty much covers all of it. It's been kind of slow.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're coming up on Pokemon Snap, and so then once that comes out, I imagine the Pokemon Company will have to have some new things to put out there to keep people satisfied.
Any sort of impressions. I guess the only thing that I would add is that they did release an overview trailer to kind of go over some of the new features and stuff of new Pokemon Snap. It's like 6 minutes long. You can find it on YouTube on the Nintendo's official site. I believe on Twitter as well too. If you follow Pokemon, you can just see it there. But it's pretty cool. I watched it. It made me excited.
Yeah, I'm just morbidly curious how long it is. Like, that's my big question. Because if there's over 200 Pokemon, and there were 63 in the original, or 67-ish in the original, like, does it mean it's 3 times as long? Are they all just crammed into the same amount of routes? Like,
well, and then like you were saying too, with day and night, is it like going to be even longer because you have to go through areas multiple times, stuff like that?
As long as it's longer, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah. Well, I already got pre-ordered. Target had that really cool pre-order bonus where they have a magnetic frame and it says like Pokemon Go Snap and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so definitely.
So you're gonna be printing out your screenshots.
Well, I did that when I was a kid with that N64 cart at Blockbuster.
We were talking about that when Mike Towndrow was on the show. He was talking about how that's what he wanted was for them to bring that back and put it like a pharmacy somewhere where you can go print your.
If you're in Japan,
you can.
Doing that in Japan, but maybe they'll try and figure out a way to do it in the States. But I like Mike's idea when he was on, where it's just like, I'm just going to go to CVS, spend $4, call it a day.
My bet is that it will come to the US, but it's going to be exclusively in the Nintendo store in New York.
Heck yeah! Oh man, that would make my heart explode if they did that. I'd be that weird 31-year-old guy just being like, I'm so excited to post my picture.
I'm going to print all my screenshots.
Get out of the way, kid.
I've waited 20 years for this.
Oh man. Dude. But like, luckily the Nintendo store, there's a bunch of all ages, so I don't always feel like the oldest person.
For sure.
Because I'm not, trust me. So, which makes me feel at least a little bit better where I'm like middle. So.
Okay, so our main topic for today, as we said, we're going to be making up some Pokemon spin-off games. So each of us is going to take turns presenting our Pokemon spin-off, and the other 2 of us will play the role of publisher, giving the game the green light for development, right? And then we're going to ask questions and contribute to each other's ideas, and then and we're each going to present 3 games. So to decide who's going to start, we're going to do a little guessing game, and I'm going to randomly select a Pokemon, and we're going to guess the height in feet and inches for that Pokemon, and whoever's closest will go first. So, the random number I've generated is 7, and I'm counting on you guys not to Google stuff. But
it's Bulbasaur, or is that Squirtle, right?
That should be correct. Nope, not Gen 7. Pokemon number 7. I'm trying to find the Bulbapedia page real quick.
It is Squirtle, yeah.
It is Squirtle. So there we go. Okay, so I'm looking away from that screen. I'm looking at you guys here. Height in feet and inches, please. We'll go with Harry first. Harry, what's your guess for the height in feet and inches? Are you doing math?
I'm going to say, no, I'm just, in my head, I'm like, we're all going to write it down, then say it. But I'm going to say 2 feet, 2 inches.
Okay. I mean, I guess that would have made sense, but,
Whatever.
Dustin.
We're playing the Price is Right rules where you can underscore, overscore me.
But we are playing who's closest, whoever's closest to it.
I'm going to say 2 feet, 6 inches.
Ooh, that puts Harry, you said 2'2", right?
Correct.
And
yep.
Dustin said 2'6". I'm going to say 2'7". You got a real small window there, Dustin.
$1 Bob.
Let's see. What is the result? Squirtle's height in feet and inches is 1 foot 8 inches.
Wow.
So that makes Harry's going first, followed by Dustin, then me. So, which is great because Harry has this idea for this show came from one of Harry's suggestions. So I think Harry's got some ideas in store for us here. All right, Harry.
All right.
Give us your pitch. First Pokemon spinoff.
All right. So imagine a world from Campo
Do I need to
Santos.
close my eyes?
Sure. From Campo Santos, the people who brought you Firewatch, and in a perfect world brought you in the Valley of the Gods, which was a first-person perspective puzzle game that they were going to make until they got bought by Valve, but that's a whole other story. Where it is a puzzle game-ish, where you are exploring the Egypt pyramids in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, like that old-timey people. However, now we are in the Pokemon world, where you are an archaeologist going through all the regions and trying to figure out all the mysteries of the ancient worlds. So in this ancient world adventure, you are an archaeologist with your buddy, which is also another human, but not real person human, like NPC human. Yeah, thank you. And you're solving puzzles through giant hub areas. So instead of it being open world or it being totally linear, you'd be, let's just say, I'm going to say Johto in air quotes, where you're in the jungle trying to find Mew or the Mew Temple or Mew something. So you're trying to find various hints and clues on where you need to go, maybe even have a notepad in your real world writing down stuff and how you can figure out how to get to that thing. Or, like we were saying before, in Gen 2, you could do a Celebi Forest or the Unknown Temples or the areas or the Reggies with the Braille. Like, stuff like that with its own spin. In addition to that, I was thinking we can also have primal form of Pokemons. So we've only had that with Kyogre and Groudon, which looked rad. Like that was
they were
awesome.
great.
And I was hoping that they would lean into that more in future, but of course they don't because it's Pokemon. But that could be kind of like when you're reading the text, they're trying to decipher the Pokemon hieroglyphics that you see like an ancient form of Pikachu, ancient form of Farfetch, and you kind of have to build that into how you are figuring out the story. In a perfect world, this would be like a 4 to 6 hour per region, like hub story. So it'd be like a 30 or 40 hour game where the last area is the new region for Gen 9. So you're figuring out the lore of the region before you actually see the region. So I think that'd be a cool thing. And you'd maybe figure out like 1 or 2 Pokemon and be like, oh, this is a legendary, one of the characters from the trio, but you don't know what the trio is yet or how they interact.
That would be cool. You set them up with the idea, like before the new gen comes out, they're like, okay, now whatever I'm looking for, it's going to be based off of this thing that I found in this other game. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And this whole thing I came out of when I was like re-looking at Pokemon Diamond and Pearl from the Explorers kit. If you guys remember that, where you have to like chip away some like scratch board from the touchpad and you find like random stuff. So that's where it originally came from. I'm like, what if we just blow this idea out to the high water? And like, I think about In the Valley of the Gods all the time because that trailer was so freaking good. And I'm so sad we're probably never going to get it because now they got absorbed by Valve and they're making them do other nonsense.
And Valve doesn't make games very often anymore.
No. So but like, not to get into the weeds, but they were told that like they'd have that kind of autonomy and they'd be able to do the thing. And then they said it was on hold 2 years later when it was supposed to come out, and I'm like, no, I want to play that. And it had like sprinkles of Pokemon Snap where you take photos, and you could have eventually have gotten them developed as like a photo album. But yeah, so that's my idea. And and here's the name. It's called Into the Unknown.
Nice. Pokemon Into the Unknown. That's very well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When you started describing it, I thought we were going to go Pokemon Uncharted. Was the rate we were the way we were going? I was like, okay,
wow.
Okay.
I didn't even think of that.
No, but that sounds
that could
good.
be your spin-off idea.
Yeah, I'll save that for one of my backups. I'll that'll percolate while we're discussing the other ones. I think that's a cool idea. I think it lends itself well to Pokemon because a lot of the Pokemon spin-off games in the past have been very puzzle oriented. So I think that that works well. And then on top of that, it's not just puzzles, but it's like it sounds like it would be a little more difficult puzzles than we're used to seeing in the other Pokemon spin-off games. And so then that would lend itself to, a slightly older audience as well, which is a market that's missed often with the Pokemon spin-off games. What do you think, Dustin?
Yeah, I think it sounds great. I do like the idea of the more puzzle-based games too, and it's something that breaks the mold a little bit, where it's not just a traditional RPG is always nice. And it doesn't have to be like, when you think of the spin-offs, the most popular ones I can think of are the Mystery Dungeon games, where you're playing as the Pokemon, but it's still kind of like, it's still so RPG-like and everything you're doing. So it'd be cool to have something a little bit different.
Well, thank you for entertaining my idea.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think give it the green light. Give it the green light, Dustin. Yeah. We're giving it the green light.
Yeah.
Make that game. Call Valve.
Oh man!
Ask them for the assets of the.
When I was researching it, I'm like, Campo Santos, you gotta release this game. I want In the Valley of the Gods so bad, and I'll be that little cheerleader.
And it's gonna be great having Harry here because I have never been like super developer focused when I think about video games. So when I pitch my ideas, I'm gonna ask you to help me come up with the developer.
I will do my best.
Dustin, you're up next. What's your first pitch?
Okay, so we've talked about it before. There was a Pokemon game that came out called Pokémon Tournament. It was a fighting game spinoff. It was a cool game. Wasn't for everybody. It's kind of a mix of the like arena fighter, like camera behind you, mixed in with a little bit of the like 2D fighter.
I love that you went arena fighter instead of just saying Tekken.
Yeah, well, but in like Tekken traditionally, it's more like
but that's why it's 2D Pokken, because it's Pokemon Tekken.
Yeah. Well, basically, what I'm saying though is like they kind of go with that like let's say like the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot camera angle where it's like behind you, but then it also switches to like where it is like Tekken traditionally, where it's like 2D fighter. But okay, so that was a cool game. It wasn't for everybody. Picture a Pokemon fighting game that is in a hand-drawn art style, 2.5D art style by Arc System Works, who makes the Guilty Gear games, and most notably for me would have made Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is easily the best playing Dragon Ball Z fighting game. So I think that this would be super cool because we could choose probably, I would say, starting around like 30 different Pokemon, and it would be nice to kind of mix up like each generation, so it's not just so heavily focused on Gen 1 or Gen 2. And I would like to include, because it wouldn't be a Pokemon game if I didn't say this, Mega Evolutions in some way. So in like Dragon Ball FighterZ, for example, characters like Frieza, one of the special moves is Frieza becomes Golden Frieza. So just imagine like your super moves are like going into like your ultimate is like basically a Mega Evolution. Or like I dig it. Yeah. So like the Pokemon that have Mega Evolutions and it like buffs their powers, and then their special moves and stuff like that would be involving that. Or it could even be Z moves. Like you could even have Z moves be like the specials. So again, going back
the
to
Pokemon that don't Mega Evolve.
Yeah, it could vary per character.
Exactly. So in like Dragon Ball FighterZ, for example, like Spirit Bomb is like a bigger move, so that's going to be a bigger like ultimate move, something along those lines. And then they could release 4 like 4 character packs as well too, so you can get new Pokemon added in and stuff like that.
And
Yeah,
it'd be a
I
good
think
opportunity to introduce some new Mega Evolutions.
exactly.
And
some
in a more
Pokemon that
likely
don't have
case,
Mega
more
Evolution.
Z moves.
Yeah, well, that's what would actually happen.
We don't need more Z moves.
It's like expectation versus reality.
Yeah, if I'm playing the Pokemon Company right now, I'd be like, that's great, but let's do more Z moves.
yeah,
Z
no,
moves are easier.
I think Arc System Works is a really good idea because I was just getting my Switch. They did BlazBlue cross tag battle.
I was gonna say I thought
and
that
I
was
reviewed
they did
that
Blaze
a
Blue
while ago. And I thought the gameplay was awesome. The hubs was great. And they had a story mode, which I had no idea what the characters were because I don't follow any of them except like the Persona series. But like it was really funny. So like if they can do something like that too, where they get a story mode, like even if it's like Blastoise saying Blastoise, but translate into normal talk for us to read, like I'm sure they'd be really good with that.
So, and I think we could have the built-in translator. We saw it in the Pikachu's Vacation. Pokedex can apparently translate what Pokemon are saying. There we go.
Yeah, I could like jumble up at first and even show it like Blastoise, and then like it kind of like
kicks
the
in.
letters like switch, and then it like becomes
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be about that.
So I have a question. As you're the developer here, how do we address the height differentials in Pokemon in the fight?
I mean, so if you played the Dragon Ball Fighters game, there's characters like Gotenks or like Team Gohan who are a lot shorter, or Krillin, yeah, who are a lot shorter. I don't really think there would be too much you'd really have to worry about with the height difference. It's not going to be like Soul Calibur 4, where if you played as Yoda,
I was just thinking that too.
where you like couldn't grab Yoda, or like you had to like do low sweeps.
I was like, you couldn't hit him with a high attack. You had to do low or regular attacks to hit him at all.
Yeah, I think it would just be a little bit more animation to show the attack. Like if you're doing like a high attack or something like that,
so
maybe
the attacks finish lower. They go
or
down.
would finish lower. Or if you're like coming from like, let's say you're doing a high kick or something like that, it would just start lower, more of a sweep.
Okay,
could make it work, Jeff.
Yeah, I know. I'm just this is what we're doing. We're asking the questions about how do we solve this problem. Okay, I think that works for me. How many characters are you thinking?
So I said 30 basically to begin with. I think that's kind of
all the ones that have megas.
Yeah, that, but also like that's a pretty good starting point for a
fighting game, especially for a new fighting game.
Yeah, sometimes there's games where it's like later games in the series where there's a lot more characters, but I think if like we're doing the first one, 30 is a good starting point, and then just add more from there.
Is everyone available from the jump, or do you unlock characters?
I would say, honestly, I don't love having to unlock characters.
I think that used to be something that people liked better.
Yeah.
But especially as your roster grows, that becomes more of a chore than an enjoyable thing.
Smash Brothers
Ultimate.
Yeah.
I liked it with the way they did it.
I love unlocking characters, but it took a pretty substantial amount of time to unlock every character.
Yeah, true that. True.
And
or it would have to be like a story mode then, at least, where you just unlock everything. Like
which
you don't
is
have to
how
do,
I unlocked most of the stuff in Ultimate was by doing the story.
Same. That's how I got everybody too.
Like if it's kind of like Injustice, the second one, I don't remember the name of it, but if it's like you play as every character, and then once you finish that chapter, you're like, all right, Blastoise is now available for standard play. I'd be
awesome.
4 8-hour gameplay. Cool. Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
I think it was actually just called Injustice 2.
Yeah. Okay. The first one was Injustice Gods Among Us, and then Injustice 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so I think that's perfect. That's a good example of how that was done.
And that's the best developer I can think of, because they're really good at doing that like 2.5D to make it look like a cartoon. Like Dragon Ball Fighters looked exactly like the anime. It looks so good. So I think they could do that with Pokemon and make Pokemon either one look like the anime, or just the characters could look more like cartoony as they should.
Yeah, well, and it's funny, like when Pokken Tournament first came out, or when it was first announced even, I was like, I really wish this was a 2D fighter and not a 3D fighter, because I like Tekken but I always preferred Street Fighter. I preferred Marvel vs. Capcom, I like the 2D fighters better. So this sounds like a good idea to me. What do you think, Harry? We giving it the green light?
Oh yeah, I like the art style, the cartoon version. I like the developer. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, and they can do the fast-paced action, which I think would be really cool. Because like imagine moves like quick attack, where it's just like so fast or something like that. And I kind of just imagine quick attack being one of those things where you just like the character's just like constantly going back and forth on the screen, like hitting the character and like knocking them up or something like that.
Gonna need to master those parries if you're gonna
Yeah.
to not stop rapid quick attacks. Okay, so now it's time for my first game idea. Okay, so if you know much about me on a personal level, you know that I am big time into Dungeons and Dragons, and so I was thinking it would be a good opportunity for us to make the Pokemon pen and paper RPG. So, because we don't have to make our games video games, right? I mean, Pokemon can branch out. We can branch into other facets of gaming. So, I want a Pokemon.
I think a trading card game would work out really well for Pokemon.
Maybe they should try a trading card game. But yeah, so the idea is that you play as a trainer, but you start out as a youngster. And that is your class. You are youngster Dustin, youngster Harry, okay? So you start off as a youngster, and then...
I prefer ace trainer, but whatever.
Well, give me a second. As you level up, and as you level up your Pokemon, and depending on which Pokemon you catch, you will unlock additional class types that you can change into. So, for instance, after you catch so many bird-type Pokemon, you can become a bird keeper. Okay, or if you catch so many, what's the other example? Bug types, you become bug catcher, right? Or when you hit a certain level, that's when you can do the class change into ace trainer, right?
How do I become beauty, Dustin?
You already are, buddy.
Aw,
I prefer to be a gambler.
Yeah, so and that's the thing the other thing is not all the classes are unlocked by Pokemon. Some of them are going to be unlocked by items. So when you get your bike in the course of your campaign, then you can unlock the biker class. Or when you first go to the casino, if you win 3 games of whatever the in Pokemon gambling game is in the pen and paper RPG, you can get the gambler class. But Jeff, this is a lot of classes. That's what you're thinking. I know you're all thinking this is so many classes. How do I keep up with this? Well, so the idea is that each class has 3 features. So, like for example, with the Bird Keeper class, it would be like you earn bonus experience for flying type Pokemon, or flying Pokemon gain a +2 bonus to speed, or eggs hatch faster if you have a bird in your party. Okay, so just
thing.
It's not a thing in Pokemon, but it's going to be a thing in the Pokemon pen and paper RPG. How do I was thinking like things about birds, right? Birds they sit on their eggs, so like it's just an idea. Obviously, I'd workshop it for better details on the features. But so each class has 3 features, and every 5 levels for your trainer, you can add one of those class features to your character permanently. So when you change classes to something else later down the road, you'll have the 3 features from that class plus one of several of the other classes. So you're customizing your trainer to fit the party that you want to use for your Pokemon. So like that you're going to want if you know Dragonite's one of your favorite Pokemon, you're gonna work to I forget what the dragon themed class is for the trainers in game, but it's like Dragon Tamer or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So you're gonna work towards getting that class so that you can get one of the features that gives a bonus to dragon types, so that you can then switch to some other class that you want, but still have that bonus for your Dragonite when you get your Dragonite. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How is level progression going to work compared to standard D&D? Because that usually takes a while.
So, I mean, this is the sort of thing that playtesting would be very important for to kind of see how long it would take. Because you can either in D&D these days you can do milestone progression, which is like you accomplish certain things in your campaign and then you level up regardless of how many bad guys you've defeated. But in general, I was thinking it would just be standard. Each Pokemon you defeat, depending on which Pokemon it is, earns you so much experience. And, you can apply that experience to your trainer or to your Pokemon, or maybe both. I'm not entirely, I haven't worked through all the details on that. But that's how you're leveling up your Pokemon as well as your trainer, because your character is the trainer, but the Pokemon are going to work basically just like they do in the actual game, like in the regular video games.
You're typically not doing much of the like combat as the trainer, so the Pokemon are where you want your levels to go.
So, but you also need to. So your Pokemon, you'd be leveling up probably faster than your trainer, but the trainer you're going to want to level up so that you can get those extra bonuses I'm talking about from the classes.
So as Mr. Businessman Pokemon guy,
yeah.
How am I making money from this?
Well, so you're going to sell books,
okay,
because that's how D&D makes money. They sell books,
characters, like figurines,
and that's the other thing. The miniatures. You're going to have 898 different miniatures,
dude. Just think about how much amiibos sell. Like, imagine what the little figurines for like Pokemon would do.
And it wouldn't just you wouldn't just be buying you won't be buying individual figures most of the time. We're doing blind boxes like they do for D&D miniatures. That's how you get the money out of the people. I've got
Well, especially booster packs all over again.
Yeah, but it's also, you're not going to be mad about it as the person buying it, because sometimes you're going to want to have as the DM, you're going to need like 3 Pikachus for this encounter that you're going to run, somewhere in your campaign. This guy's a Pikachu fanboy. It's Dustin. Dustin is the trainer that you're battling against, and so he throws out Pikachu after Pikachu after Pikachu. You're going to need miniatures for all these Pikachus.
Yeah, but
it feels very targeted at me.
Boxes. That's like a 1 in 7 billion. I'm going to get 3 Pikachus.
Well, no, I know. We're going to make a lot of money off these blind boxes.
Don't worry, we're all about the money.
And the resell market is going to be pretty big on the miniatures, just like they are with D&D miniatures.
Everything,
but
yeah.
Here's the thing. So, like the moves and everything going to be very much the same as regular Pokemon, with slight modifications. We're going to add melee and range types so that you can, so when you're battling, you are actually moving your miniatures around in the space of the battlefield. So in that way, it's going to be more like the show or the movies, because it's not just say the command, they do the attack. It's you have to move the Pokemon to the correct location, whatever their movement speed is, and then if you want to do Mega Punch, you have to be within melee range to do the Mega Punch. But if you want to do Thunderbolt, with whatever Pokemon, you can do that from range, right? So the campaign will be a traditional adventure, like you pick a region. Trainers start off with one of their starter Pokemon, and then advance through all the gyms one at a time. And then there will also be the overarching story of having to defeat Team Rocket, or whatever team you want to create for this campaign. And then there will also be one-shot adventures available, which are little side stories, which is again something they do in D&D all the time. You can buy books full of little single play session adventures that are like spin-offs. So imagine the side episodes on Pokemon. Yes, Dustin.
We get Mega Evolutions into this.
Yes, we can, because every Pokemon works just like Pokemon. So, yeah, Harry, you look like you have a question.
I was just going to ask, do you want to make one book per region so we can stretch out the money?
Well, I was going to start with one book per region, yes. But what we're going to do something that no previous Pokemon game has done correctly, and you're going to be able to travel from region to region to region to region to region with the same trainer through the whole thing.
One day they'll get it right.
No, they won't.
I know.
Or if anything, they'll be like, Pokemon Go is the world region or whatever. Like, they'll do something annoying like that.
Well, so I was thinking this way you're going to be able to customize your trainer to a full extent. You're going to have whatever Pokemon you want, and you'll encounter Pokemon, the same way you encounter monsters in a D&D sort of adventure. Only now, when you defeat them, you have the opportunity to catch them, to add them to your party.
I dig it.
I like it too. I like it because it is, like you said, it's a way for them to make a lot more money and everything like that.
Because that's what
off
Pokemon
of it.
needs, is another opportunity to make a boatload of money.
And it's a way that I would actually play D&D.
Oh, Dustin.
Well, have you guys looked up the Pokemon 5e rule set?
So I have, and I've seen multiple people have written, ideas for Pokemon. In fact, I believe Node, which is a popular YouTube channel, the guys from Corridor, I believe, are on that as well. They did an adventure, a D&D adventure where they were doing Pokemon, and I did not dig the setup. I think trying to finagle Pokemon into 5e only works so well. You really need to build your battle system from the ground up around the ideas of actual Pokemon rather than the ideas of D&D.
Fair. I'll still give you my money.
Yep.
That was my first one. So now we're back around to Harry.
All right. So, okay. Okay. I'm going to do the weird one that I think is a cool idea, but I would not buy just because it's not my jam. But, okay, let me do my presentation mode. Imagine a world that you are cooking, kind of like in Pokemon Sword and Shield, with your Pokemon around you, you're making some really yummy food. But if those ingredients were actually from the real world and you are actually making food that you can enjoy in your real life. I am presenting to you Cooking Mama, the Pokemon edition.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is pretty much based off the 2016 Viz Media book where the cover is like a Pikachu with rice and it looks really cute and everything. And they have 35 recipes of how
I assume the
make
Pikachu looked cute and not the rice.
Well, the Pikachu is the rice, so it's like a cute rice Pikachu.
Oh, it was a rice Pikachu. That does sound cute.
You definitely need to look at this. It's bananas.
Go ahead, keep going. I'll look it up.
It's one of those things where I'm like, man, if I was really good at like presenting my food when I cook, like I'd be all about this. But I am not good at presenting my food when I cook. It's just like a mash of food. I eat it and it's yummy and I move on with my life.
That is a cute Pikachu.
But, right? Like it's cute. And like they can, and like I'm sure the book's not selling great now, but that can revitalize the ingredients, the promotion, the actual interest in making the food for people. And it could be a good like family thing where you teach kids how to cook and how to cut, and they do mini games to spin the food, but then in reality they're actually making the like one-to-one reality. And in terms of transmedia oversight, they can also do crossover events with Pokemon Cafe and do drinks and coffees and stuff like that. I think that'd be really cute. This could be we haven't talked about like where these games are happening, but this could be a Switch and mobile game where it'd be like, I would not say full price for this because that'd be insane. But maybe like a $9.99 on the Switch and then maybe $4.99 on the Apple or the mobile devices.
And I'm just throwing this out there. You may have already thought of this, but then with the mobile version, you could have the recipes, on just there on your phone while you're cooking in real life as well.
Yep. So in my head, I also thought like you could play it with mini games and whatever, like Cookie Mama, which is not my jam, but I like the idea of it, so I just went.
And it is some people's jams.
Yeah, like some people freaking love Cookie Mama. I like the idea of it. I just don't like. It doesn't seem like a fun game to me. But I would buy the Pokemon one that I'm pitching in a heartbeat because I would like to make a Pikachu looking cake. Or the unknown, not to drop them for the 12th time, but there's like fudge brownies of unknown, which is pretty much just brownies and you curve it. Like, but the ideas of it is cute, and I think like having a timer and stuff like that when you're cooking it in real life is a nice little niche thing that Nintendo hasn't or Pokemon really hasn't delved into yet.
Dustin, you look like you have some thoughts.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I was trying to Google the book that you were talking about while you're doing this, and it pulled up the Remint Miniature Pikachu Kitchen. I don't know if you guys have seen this, so it's Enjoy Cooking Pikachu Kitchen is what it is, and it's like a little miniature kitchen, but it's another way to sell more of those by doing a promotion with Cooking Mama Pokemon, and you could totally re-release these release more of these miniatures and sell them.
And the Pokemon Center is selling those like high-end like cooking utensils. Like I have like what was it? My family rarely understands what I want for Christmas, so I just give them links. So one of the links I got, so one of the links is I got those 4 squares of like potted plants holders, Pikachu. I also got the hot plate Pikachu things. Like, it's very nice stuff from the Pokemon Center that we can also like pivot to be this app as well and be like, hey, if you like this, why don't you buy the Pikachu plate for $40?
I mean, basically, yeah, whatever they're seeing in the game, you make real life versions of to sell online. Brilliant.
Almost buy the Pikachu like insulated tumbler like daily. The coffee cup.
Oh yeah, I know. I bought the 25th anniversary one.
Yeah, I almost expensive. Yeah,
I would consider buying, more Pokemon related stuff if they'd stop making everything Pikachu themed, and
just get with the program and enjoy a good Pokemon.
I mean, I like it so much. I got the fake candles too. Christmas.
Oh, wait, fake candles?
Yeah, like plastic ones that you put you
don't actually light them.
No, like it's made of plastic, but there's no wicker. It's just a
wick. Okay, yeah.
No. Oh my god, I'm explaining this so poorly. It's like a lamp almost, where it looks like a candle, and you put batteries in it.
Ah, okay, that's cool.
Sorry,
I'm not the biggest. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was it.
I'm not like a huge cooking mama, like super into the cooking games, but I think it's a smart idea. It's like blending. It is really blending together two things really well, and then again, you can make recipes of like really cool like stews or the plates from Sword and Shield, like you're saying. It's smart.
And in my head, this would be like a long-term project where we would start with the 35, and then like every couple weeks be like, all right, the recipes of the week is 7 more from the Kalos regions. The next 2 are like Oran berries, but it's really blueberries, like stuff like that. Right.
So I used to work at GameStop. I was a store manager for GameStop for a few years, and Cooking Mama was like the go-to suggestion for children, especially like grandparents coming in. My granddaughter wants a video game, but all these look so violent. What's appropriate for her? And I'm like, okay, well, there's lots of good, like Pokemon anything would be appropriate. So there's that. I don't know when the last Cooking Mama game came out.
Oh, I don't want to get on this, but there's a whole issue with the latest one that came on Switch where it got released.
I immediately thought of that when you brought up Cooking Mama.
Yeah, I'm excluding that one from the situation. We're talking about the good ones that are.
So what happened with this new one?
The TLDR version is people who weren't supposed to make the game made the game without permission, apparently.
Oh.
And there's this whole like it's very awkward turtle situation, and I don't think it's being sold. And it was apparently a very bad game too. So
well, that's not a huge surprise.
Yeah. So
I just remember like Cooking Mama. I was always like, oh yeah, Cooking Mama. They'd say would this be good? I was like, yeah, Cooking Mama is very popular. But then people would ask, what about Babysitting Mama? I'm like, no, Babysitting Mama is nightmare fuel. It was for the Wii. It came with a baby in the style of Cooking Mama, that art style, but in its back was a spot where you shoved a Wiimote. It was horrifying. Sorry, I just had a flashback to Nom there, So, greenlight cooking Pokemon.
Yeah,
it's called Cooking Mama Pokemon Edition.
Cooking Mama Pokemon Edition. Thank you. I suppose cooking Pokemon is problematic.
Well, that was my original name, but I'm just like that sounds too like cooking with Pokemon or cooking from Pokemon. Like all those can sound creepy.
Murdering Pokemon to feed
for
to
sustenance.
Yeah, like is Bellsprout a vegan meal or is that like carnivore time? Like it's all.
Oh man, that is a.
This is a whole nother topic.
That's a thought that's going to marinate. Well, I believe it is Dustin's turn for the next. Oh, we're greenlighting it. Yeah, so we're greenlighting that. Yeah. Dustin, go ahead.
I think this will kind of fall in a little bit with like doing a spinoff where, because it's like the Cooking Mama idea with Pokemon, and it makes me think a little bit of like the mini games from Pokemon Stadium as well, just those in general, which is perfect because my second game idea is a Pokemon game that is all mini games. So, and I'm meaning like this idea really stemmed from how much I loved the like Delibird delivery thing and like the, cutting the wood with Scyther and Pinsir and like those types of things. But imagine it more of like a Mario Party with Pokemon. So you would choose your Pokemon that you decide to play on the board with. Let's say that there's like, I don't know, maybe all the starter Pokemon or something like that, just to keep it kind of like limited to the amount of Pokemon that you have, or even 10 just random Pokemon, whatever you want to do. But you choose those Pokemon and you go around doing on the board, you do different mini games. But the mini games won't be you using your Pokemon. It would be based on like, let's say the Scyther thing where it's cutting the wood. So you would play as that Pokemon to do that. So you have a sprite that you're playing as, but then when you go into the mini games, you're playing as something else. Like, let's imagine it's like I don't know. I'm trying to think of like one off the top of my head that would be cool that hasn't been done before. But like, let's say like you have to like fly through rings, so you're playing as like Pidgeot or something like that. Like you'd play as that Pokemon, or even your Pokemon that you're on. Let's say that it is like one of the starters of small Pokemon, could be riding on the back of like a Pidgeot, like going through those rings or something like that. So, and all of the things that you have in Mario Party, so like all the items like mushrooms and everything like that will be swapped out for Pokemon centric items, so like rare candies, berries, whatever it is that you want to do. And then the stars that you essentially get for completing or like mini games or doing whatever would be Master Balls.
Ooh.
I would like to change it up for Mario Party though, where it's not so like who's gonna win, because at the end they give out just random points for whatever. I don't think I'd like that idea. It would be more based on who wins the most things or makes it to buy the
so
star.
Classic Mario Party instead of
Yes.
the new BS version.
Yeah, going back to the old Mario Party type gameplay.
I really like this idea a lot, and I'm shocked that they haven't made it yet.
Yeah, I was just
And
thinking,
that's kind of what I was
like
thinking.
A pretty obvious option.
They haven't. Every Pokemon game, like mainline game, has some sort of mini game, whether it be beauty pageants or like the Pokemon contests, whatever, like those types of things. But since Stadium, there hasn't really been any mini game type things like this. So I thought it would be cool to do like a collection of mini games with Pokemon.
And that can go hardcore with nostalgia too, because like once you were saying, I was like, oh man, I remember playing that with my mom, like the Chansey one, and she would like piss her pants because she thought it was so funny that she has eggs in their pouch and they're grabbing more eggs. It was just one of those weird things. I'm just like, wow, like she's really into this. And like now we can be the old people that are like, hey, younger people, we are really into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think that it lends itself to another business opportunity, more amiibos. Give me more Pokemon.
Give me more
amiibos,
amiibo. I'm all about.
And then
it.
you can use those Pokemon in your game as game pieces.
Exactly. Yeah, you could scan them onto the Switch or whatever to get additional characters or whatever, or like different abilities for a Pokemon or something like that, like different things that help you out with the game. Like let's even say like something that maybe slows down other players or like makes it so they can't move as many spaces in one turn or something like that.
Or a re-roll. Like something simple like that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or they lose -2 or something like that for their dice roll or something.
Let's be real. As Pokemon fans, I think, as much as we love our Pokemon mainline games, which is a lot, I think a lot of us would be open to games that are very clearly copies of other games, but we would buy them because they're Pokemon. So.
That's how I felt with this. I was like, well, it does seem like an exact copy, but it's like, well, it would sell. Like, it would definitely sell.
And there's spins to it. It's not just like gross copy and paste. Like
it's gonna fit.
Games.
It's gonna like the mini games are gonna be based around the Pokemon themselves, so it's not gonna be a direct copy of previous mini games. There might be some that are similar, but yeah, Harry's right. Not a direct copy. Different enough to make it worthwhile, and it's Pokemon themed. So
and you can always add in more mini games too. Like you could do updates to add more games in, or like things along those lines.
I will give you my money, developer Dustin.
Perfect. That's all I was shooting for.
It's greenlit. It's greenlit. Put it into development right away. Okay, my second game. All right. What is one of the most popular genres in video games?
MOBAs.
That's already happening. No.
Battle Royale.
Yes, Battle Royale, but specifically shooters. Shooters is the genre.
Oh, we're getting violent with our Pokemon now.
Okay, so now you're jumping to a conclusion here. That's not what's going to happen exactly.
Well, it could be like Splatoon, where it's like G-rated.
Right.
Sorry, I'm interrupting.
What we're having is your question is valid, Jeff. How do you do Pokemon as a first person shooter? And my plan is to make it like Overwatch. So you're going to create a trainer profile, right? And that's going to be your user profile for the game. And you unlock additional Pokemon as you play, whether that be through accomplishing achievements or like by leveling up or whatever. You unlock them. I'm avoiding loot boxes for characters, but there will be some cosmetic items that you can get from loot boxes that you can earn in game, just like in a lot of shooters. But yeah, so you make your profile, and the Pokemon. We're not going to have a full roster, obviously. Like it's not going to be all 898 Pokemon, but I'm thinking it would be fair to have a roster of around like 25 to 30 Pokemon to make out the base of the game. And then of course you can add additional Pokemon throughout, like in updates. But as you play, your trainer is going to unlock the Pokemon in game to add to his party, which is how you get new Pokemon to play with in this game. So, as far as how is this a shooter? What are we doing with that? It's going to be like the theme is it's a new kind of battle, right? And you're used to the one-on-one Pokemon battles. This is team-based Pokemon battles, and the Pokemon basically they make their own decisions. So you're playing as the Pokemon, but thematically in the world, it's like if the trainers are releasing the Pokemon into the arena, which is going to be, basically like a walled off section of a city or a walled off forest or a cave or, mountain pass, whatever.
Apocalyptic Pokemon world where all the
where it's just Pokemon that are left. All the humans are dead.
Sounds like Hunger Games almost.
Okay, well, so that's actually a fair comparison. So you're playing as the Pokemon, and you release Pokemon in there, and the idea is that the in canon premise is that these battles are televised, and so people are watching the battles. Yeah, I mean it's not unlike Hunger Games. You're absolutely right, but no death.
No, you just casually faint, black out, and someone drags you away.
Precisely. So. Eventually, you have unlocked a few dozen Pokemon that you can use as your playable characters, and each one of them is going to have a primary attack. Like if it's a Squirtle, the primary attack will shoot bubbles, right? If it's a Charmander, you're shooting a flamethrower, right? And then you also have your secondary attacks, which could be like, for Pikachu. I'll just do Pikachu as an example for Dustin, and I guess Harry's a big Pikachu fan as well. It would seem.
I'm Pikachu agnostic, I guess.
Pikachu agnostic.
You say it like Pikachu is my favorite Pokemon.
Boy, the way you talk about him sometimes, it's hard to believe that Scyther's actually your favorite. But anyways, Pikachu.
Dustin just no, never mind. I was gonna say Jeff used shade, but I messed it up, and that's okay.
Jeff used shade. So super Pikachu effective. Shoots lightning bolts, right? As his primary attack. His secondary attack would be like a quick attack, so like a dash forward, so like in Overwatch, the comparison would be like Tracer, that it does those quick dashes, and so that's your quick attack. And then most of the time they have a few secondary attacks, so you could have like a quick attack. You could do Iron Tail, where your Pikachu does a little flip and hits him with the tail, whatever. So, and then you also have other characters like Machamp, that is a melee character and isn't going to have much in the way of ranged options, but you could have like Rock Throw as a secondary attack, but his primary attack is just wailing on them, punch, with all four arms. So you have options like that for each Pokemon, so that they're different play styles for each different Pokemon character, and the various Pokemon are going to be separated into tiers of play, so that like everyone is going to have the opportunity to start with a starter Pokemon. So in the first tier of play, until you unlock some other Pokemon or evolve those Pokemon, you're going to be basically just battling against other Charmanders and Squirtles and whatever, all the starters, right? I mean, is that making sense to you guys?
Yeah.
So is that like training mode?
So it's like the first tier of play. So like when you join the game, that way you're not having to battle against people who have, you know, the super evolved, like all their fully evolved Pokemon and everything like that. So it's a way to like keep the, you know, tiers balanced. So like in Pokemon Go, you have Great League, Ultra League, Master League. It's that sort of deal where only it's certain Pokemon are limited to each tier. So
like Little Cup
yeah,
in Pokemon Stadium.
yes.
Okay, let's go with that.
Yep. That's a good example. And so you're still going to be able to evolve your Pokemon if you'd like, but you could also just keep leveling up your Squirtle, and then and in that case, even a Squirtle or a Pikachu could level up into the higher tiers, because I want it to be possible that like maybe you really like the way Pikachu plays, but you're not wild about Raichu for whatever reason.
Like most people,
if you want to keep playing the Pikachu, you can just keep leveling up the Pikachu and you know, enter the higher tiers of play where now the damage dealt by the attacks has scaled appropriately. Your HP has scaled appropriately to each tier, so that each Pokemon is still viable in the higher, you know, difficulty tiers. But you know, because what I see visually is, I think it would be really cool to like. I mean, I play a good amount of Overwatch, so I'm just thinking about how like all the characters are basically like the same height, right? For some reason, it seems really cool to me to picture a tiny little Pikachu running around this world, doing minuscule amounts of damage versus a big beefy like a Snorlax, right? But they're because of Pikachu's speed, it still, you know, balances out gameplay wise to where a Pikachu can take down a Snorlax, just like theoretically in game Pikachu could take down a Snorlax, right? So obviously balance would be the big issue, you know, because you're going to have various height differentials, so the hitboxes are going to be different. But that's why we're gonna scale the hit points. We're gonna, you know, scale how much damage each attack does, and you know, to match the tiers so that, you know, everything remains balanced. Let's see, what else did I have on this? Type effectiveness is still going to be a thing. So that way you have some built-in counters. That's a big thing with Overwatch style games, where, you know, like you know, Roadhog is a big beefy guy with a hook. So but he's really slow. So if you come at him with Tracer, that can be a decent counter to someone who's kicking your butt with Roadhog, because you can just run in and poke him a little bit and dash out of there before he gets you. That sort of deal. I'm not even sure that's the best example of a counter, but that's what I think type effectiveness will allow. Harry,
would you be able to customize your attacks? So like if I'm Pikachu and I don't, and I'm noticing that I'm getting railed by certain types of Pokemon, instead of Thunder Shock, could I use Double Kick or Quick Attack?
So that's what I was thinking, that, you know, as you level up to the different tiers, I was thinking that would unlock additional move sets for that Pokemon. So if you wanted to keep playing Pikachu all the way through, but felt like you couldn't with the current move set in the higher tiers, maybe it unlocks some options where you can swap out your Quick Attack for Double Kick, or, you know, whatever the, you know, give them some customization options. So it's sort of like regular Pokemon where you have your 4 moves. Mm-hmm. Every character still has 4 moves that you can swap out and use depending on which tier of play you're playing in.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
Are there Mega Moves?
Mega Evolutions and Z moves? Yes. I would say, you know, it's theoretically possible. I mean, your ultimates are a very common thing in Overwatch. So, you know, since I'm blatantly ripping off Overwatch, yeah, we can do Z moves for some ultimate moves, or Mega Evolution. I mean, I think that would be a good way to vary it, you know, in terms of the ultimates, so they're not all just like bigger flamethrower, you know.
Yeah.
Have an ultimate move that is maybe like, you know, a different fire. Like if you have a Charizard, you know, instead of you know, your normal attack being Fire Blast, now your ultimate is Flame Blitz or something like that.
I'd be cool with that. I like that.
You have any questions, thoughts, concerns?
Would this be multiple platforms, or would this stay Nintendo?
Well, I think it would make sense to make it multiple platforms. I you know, I would find it highly unlikely that they would make it multi-platform, because, you know, Nintendo doesn't do that
They could do mobile because like they made Fortnite and stuff like that work on mobile if they really wanted to.
I mean, they sort of made Fortnite work on mobile.
Yeah, but if they wanted to do like multiple platforms, I just don't see
what I had in
Pokemon.
mind would be
Pokemon Unite's mobile too. So
yeah, what I had in mind was specifically for the Switch or the next Nintendo console, and theoretically and hopefully for PC. Because I keep hoping that we'll get to the point where Nintendo realizes that most people own a computer. Like most people who own a console also own a computer, and they could. But there are a lot of people who only own computers but don't own a console, and so they might be able to bring their games to some wider audiences. And I think the Pokemon Company would, of all the Nintendo related companies, the Pokemon Company to me would be the most likely to make that jump onto a PC.
I dig it. I will give you my money.
Yeah, you can have my money.
Okay, Harry.
Okay, so like I mentioned, I have multiple ones. If you will entertain me, I would like to talk about them after you guys do your last ones, just like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
but
of course, man.
I want to talk in depth about this one that I'm about to talk about. So, since we have 890 something plus all variants, there's 1,000-ish Pokemon. The Pokedex is such a weird thing when it gives us descriptions. Sometimes it's on par to what we expect. Sometimes it's WTF, like this is a horror show. Like what's going on? So I thought it would be really cool if we have the game is called Stories of the Pokedex, where it's going to be interactive small vignettes to see how Pokemon get their various Dex entries. And we just keep it like general like that. And I picked out 3 Pokemon that could have like small stories with it. The developer would be Giant Sparrow, and that's the people who made What Remains of Edith Finch. So if you've played that, yeah. Oh my gosh, so good. It's pretty much a walking sim for part of it, but then every so often you're playing immersive, story-driven, like mini adventures that are very different.
Getting stories of like the family and stuff like that.
So I thought we could do that for various Pokemon, and it could be an ongoing thing. So the one of them that I thought of was Dragonite, because I just kind of randomly just clicked on Pokemon. And one of his Dex entries is, this Pokemon is known as the Sea Incarnate. Figureheads that resemble Dragonite decorate the bows of many ships. So kind of like the mermaid thing in normal worlds where old people would have that. And I thought it'd be a cool thing where you play the act of a shipbuilder and you see a Dragonite and then you get inspired to like create it onto a thing.
Yeah, or it could even be something where it like essentially acts as like a lighthouse almost, where it like helps ships at sea like make it to shore or something like that. So that's why they put it on their ships or something. Yeah, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, and then like it could be totally different art styles, totally different tones and themes. Like Impidimp, there's something about him being like super annoying and he like absorbs negative energy. So like you could play like a stealth game where you steal all the stuff from a family's house, and then you like at the end you get all the power because they're all annoyed that you took everything. And I thought this could be also an ongoing thing where you start off with like 15, and then like every once in a while you can buy like packs of 5 and be like, all right, we're doing the fire themed one where you can buy like Chimchar and Flareon, like a bunch of other ones where you kind of get those like weird niche things, or like Drifloon where one of the entries was like it's like a culmination of souls, and it's really popular in the summer, which sounds horribly morbid because I guess more people die in the summer. Like it's just like if you connect the dots, like you just connect the dots, you're like, oh dang, that's like
the Marowak one would be so depressing.
That would be
like and Marowak.
Yeah, I would definitely ugly cry on that one. So, but yeah, like I think that'd be a really cool thing. Or this could like not a video game, but they could do this with like Pokemon Legends, not Legends. Now I got that stuck in my head. That Pokemon YouTube like mini episodes.
Oh, Pokemon.
I forgot the name of it.
There's Twilight Wings. There's Twilight Wings.
Yeah.
But there was also Pokemon Generations.
Either of those, like that kind of vibe where like it could be a 10-minute thing, or sorry, my cat's being like.
I have cats too. I understand.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway,
There's
so yeah,
there was
like,
literally an episode we were recording where my cat was behind my computer, pushing on my computer, and I was literally with my
Oh
hand
my
like
God.
this in the corner, like the whole episode.
no, he was good up until now. Now he's like buzzing around. So, but yeah, like I think, or they could do a crossover lap where some of them are interactive, some of them are just a video of 12 minutes of Haunter. Or I was watching Pokemon, the new Pokemon series. The Gengar episode almost like made me ugly cry, where he was just super sad. Like if they do something like that, like yeah, people will watch that. They'll get super sad or super happy, and then continue their adventures in Pokemon.
You had me at What Remains of Edith Finch, so
Yeah.
that's a
Dustin
All right,
sold.
cool.
I think that sounds good. I think
yeah. I'd greenlight
offers
it.
a lot of opportunities for cool little vignettes.
And it's something you don't really think about like often, but yeah, where do the Pokedex entries come from? And it's kind of something I wonder if in Pokemon Legends, speaking of that as well too, Arceus, because you're like essentially like going out and making the Pokedex. If there's anything that like you experience like scripted events, let's just say, where a Pokemon is doing something specific, and that's why it has that Pokedex entry.
Yeah, especially
be
since like a
super.
lot of those Pokedex entries don't seem to be really like founded in reality.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen a Trevenant stealing children or whatever it was that his Pokedex says. Or it was Phantom. Phantom is like the souls of lost children
Or
something.
Yamask was just like someone who was like trying to grave rob or something. Like it's all weird stuff. Like you're just like, what?
You never
like,
see it happen
those
in
Pokemon.
game.
No. Except I guess Ghastly or Marowak or that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd greenlight it.
I agree. I think that's a good idea.
I will happily take your money.
Dustin.
All right, this is my last one.
Yep.
I'm so glad one of you guys didn't take this one because I thought it was for sure going to be one. All right, so let's flash back like 20 years now, probably at this point. There was a little game on the Game Boy that took a very popular game that's in every arcade known to man.
Is it Pokemon Pinball?
It is Pokemon Pinball. It is Pokemon Pinball, but we're not going to... So I put new Pokemon Pinball game, but I don't like the whole just putting new in the front of things. I think it's really dumb.
Even though they did that for
and that's
Pokemon
what
Snap.
I'm saying. I think it's really stupid. It would... Obviously, there'd be some Pokemon Pinball name to it. But my Pokemon Pinball game would be made by Tetsuya Mizuguchi. If you guys don't know who that is, he's the guy who made Rez and Tetris Effect.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine a Pokemon Pinball game with really cool like environments. My idea is like one per generation. It would be cool to have like a map at least. And then so the Pokemon would be basically based around that generation that you're in. But like, the background would like if you've played Tetris Effect, for example, like there's the whale and like dolphin one where there's like dolphins swimming around and it just looks so cool. Like imagine that, but like with Pokemon. And I kind of think of maybe even like we'll go back to like the Post Malone video that
I was
came
just
out.
vibing on that.
Yeah, yeah.
I could definitely see that be
we do not talk about Post Malone anymore.
Right.
I thought it was cool.
No, we're not mad about the show. One of our
videos were taken down.
One of our episodes got demonetized and removed.
Oh,
we had to re-upload it without the Post Malone stuff in it.
Sorry, so that guy.
Yeah. So, but like, yeah, that really cool scene where like for me the one that sticks out is like when it's in the water. Like I thought that was really cool. But like imagine like cool backgrounds like that, but like drawn in that art style of Tetris Effect. And then you'd have different, like I said, different regions. So going all the way through the 8th generation. And then they could add on additional levels that are, say, like a volcano or a forest or under the sea or in the sky, like just different levels. This game, though, what I didn't mention is this would be a mobile game that would not have microtransactions and would cost a premium. So it's like a $10 to $20 game that you have to buy.
That's high. That's high on a phone.
But so so like $10 for this game but the DLC would be free. So you'd get free map updates as you're playing it and stuff like that. So it would add, new maps, different Pokemon, different tracks that would play in the background. I imagine it would be like remixes.
I'm thinking of is
like
remixes of Pokemon themes done in the style of like Rez and Tetris Effect.
Exactly. So
I would also suggest you do like the Super Mario Run like game plan where maybe the first level's free to get people in the hook, and then be like, all right, $8 or $9.
Yeah.
I think the 20 though is a lot.
Yeah, 20 would be high for a mobile game for sure, but I just think that like this would be like a console quality game on mobile. Obviously it wouldn't be as long and there's not like a story mode. It's just something that you pick up your phone and are playing pinball on your phone. Which it could also be on Switch because it's not very hard to make a game for mobile and Switch like they did with Pokemon Cafe? Yeah. Is on both. So, and they really like to get their games on mobile. So, I think the reason I go against the microtransactions and charging a premium is because like there was a lot of complaints with things like Animal Crossing and stuff like that, where it was just like spending so much money to get stuff in that game.
Yeah. It got real gross on the app.
Yeah.
But
so that's basically my idea.
I'm on board for greenlighting that at the $10 price point, but we're not going higher than that.
And the reason I like that one so much is because I love pinball. Like it's just such a fun game to go play. And then Pokemon Pinball was just like it was just combining two things that I liked so much that it would just be cool to have another
the spirit
Pokemon
of pinball because pinball machines, one of the things that people like about them is that they're thematically tied to whatever property, so there's 1,000 different pinball machines out there with different themes from different movies and TV shows.
And especially if we're doing like every generation and different maps and stuff, it could be called something like Pokemon Pinball Generations or like, something like that to like keep it where it's like, it makes sense to just add on new stuff to it.
We'll just add legends to every title.
Right? Pokemon Legends Pinball Edition. That's the thing too, since this is my last one. That was what was so hard for me is that Pokemon Legends is almost exactly my like dream Pokemon spinoff game. So
yeah,
I'm very excited about it.
Okay, yeah. Let me do my last one. So let me see. Which one do I want to do?
That one.
Well, I'll share the other one like Harry as well afterwards. I'm going to do this one. Okay, so it's a top-down action game where the player puts together a combination of 4 Pokemon that they use to battle and eliminate other Pokemon on a map and battle against, bosses and such and thwart the plans of Giovanni and Team Rocket, all that just, kind of a similar sort of story that you'd see in a regular Pokemon game, but with the gameplay style of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And so I want Team Ninja that did Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the Black Order, to work with the Pokemon Company on this one to create it. And it's basically, the same sort of combat system as in Ultimate Alliance. I'd like it to go more like the original Ultimate Alliance. They had reduced the number of moves you had access to in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. But basically, you're just going to unlock additional Pokemon throughout the course of the campaign, and you can swap out the Pokemon on your team, and you can play with up to 4 players co-op, each controlling one of the Pokemon, or you can just play by yourself and swap between each of the 4 Pokemon you've chosen for your team. And the world will be like picture. Did you guys play Ultimate Alliance or ever look at it?
Yeah,
I've watched it.
Okay,
I played and beaten 1 and 3. 2 I never really got into.
Okay. But there's like waves of bad guys come out in each room. There's always like, a bunch of bad guys on the map. So you're going to be battling a lot of Pokemon at once, which is why I think it makes sense that the story is about trying to take down Team Rocket facilities and things like that, because they'd be throwing out 1,000 Arboks and Coughings and Rattatas and all the stuff that Team Rocket loves to use for whatever reason. So you're spamming attacks. It's going to be a lot of like big flashy attacks going off all the time, chaos on the screen. But it's a good classic beat 'em up style gameplay. So I think that while the story is similar to some stuff you'd see in a regular Pokemon game, the overall gameplay would be different enough to make it worthwhile, but simple enough for anybody to jump in, because it is a lot of like spam A to quick attack, and then you press B to drop a thunderbolt down on all the bad guys surrounding you. I keep going Pikachu in my head. Dustin has corrupted me.
You haven't said easy once.
I know. Well, so You've got all that crazy good like nonstop action, uh, and you'll unlock the abilities just like in the game. You can still evolve the Pokemon as you level them up, uh, and you'll unlock skins just like in Ultimate Alliance, but not like. I mean, it'll be like like costumes and stuff. So like like the kind of stuff that Eevee and Pikachu wore in the Let's Go, but like so like you could have a Blastoise who's wearing a big puffy winter coat. I don't know, that always seemed really like kind of funny to me. So like weird stuff like that. But then also you'd have
Need that now.
shiny sprites and things like that, available that you can unlock in this, in the game. And then, I mean, yeah. So basically, it's that same classic gameplay that they've done in Ultimate Alliance, X-Men Legends. All sorts of games have followed that, team of 4 setup. Let's do it with Pokemon.
So would you have like the team up moves as well too, like
yes, definitely.
Okay.
So you can combine. I don't know. I'm just picturing like a water type and a fire type, and shooting a blast of fire with water spiraling around it. I don't know, just cool things like that. What do you think, Harry?
I dig it. Are you playing the trainer in charge of the 4 characters, like the Overwatch thing?
Well, I mean, I guess yeah. That's basically you'd be controlling the Pokemon on the map. So I imagine that your trainer would be standing, like would follow around the Pokemon. He'd be like, but at a few feet away.
Gotcha. I like the idea of the gameplay. I like the team up attacks. I think that could be a cool variability thing that Pokemon games haven't really seen before. So that could be a cool little niche thing that they like build on in future games too.
Are you doing like paid character packs, or would it be like free updates?
I mean, I would. I'm never a fan of having to pay for additional characters. That's one of the things I like about Pokemon is that you get like a good number of Pokemon with each game. So if they were going to be paid packs, these would be substantial download
It could be even.
packs.
I was gonna say it could be even similar to like the season pass for Sword and Shield, where it's like you pay $30 and you get both expansions, and those come with a bunch of Pokemon. So
Right.
It could be something like that. Like season pass could get you a story DLC that runs you through like maybe Team Galactic's like base or something like that, and it gives you like 40 new Pokemon or 50.
That would be
new
cool
Pokemon
because
or
then you could work your way through, like work your way up in terms of how crazy the schemes that you're battling against are. Because like Team Rocket's schemes were always like, we're corrupt corporate
stealing
business.
Pokemon.
Stealing Pokemon for profit, and then there's Galactic's like, we're gonna blow up the universe.
Yeah. You're getting to the Thanos level.
Yeah, you're working your way up.
I dig it. I like it. I will
Ninja. You had me at Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Ninja Theory, so I like both of those things.
Team Ninja.
Team Ninja. Sorry, Team Ninja. Team Ninja.
Ninja Theory is Senua's Sacrifice.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, Team Ninja also great. So you had me at both of those.
Okay, well, so that was all the ones that we had. Harry, you wanted to run through your other ideas real quick?
Yeah, so in terms of like sequels, kind of like the Pokemon Pinball, I'm shocked we don't have a Pokemon Conquest 2. Like, I don't know what the hell.
So
I never
that was
played
one
Pokemon
I had.
Conquest.
My problem with Pokemon Conquest, because the game is fine, it's fun, but like all I wanted was Pokemon Fire Emblem. Just make Pokemon, make a Fire Emblem game and replace all the characters with Pokemon. Give me that.
I mean, but I also like the gameplay mechanic where it's kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics. Just use that for something else. Like, it doesn't even have to be like Japanesey theme.
Yeah.
Or like Pseudo Masters or whatever. The other thing I thought of was Pokemon Puzzle League 2. You guys remember that game? Oh my god, I was obsessed with that with my friends. I would play all the time. And then the two like Harry created games were Pokemon Royale. I'm surprised no one did a Battle Royale game.
Well, I think that would be one of the game styles in my Overwatch game.
Yeah, like Pokemon Royale would be great. Where it's like you drop off a Lugia or something. 100 people.
Where are we dropping, boys?
Yeah,
dropping.
100 trainers would drop down. Chests would be Pokeballs. Rarity and depends on the evolution and the level or whatever. But this would be either oriented in the Lental region to bring in the Pokemon Snap Peeps, or at the Orange Islands, which I think would be super rad.
Which would be cool,
That
just
would
to
be
finally
cool.
have something in game that is in the Orange Islands. I think that's a great idea. I had one other game that I wanted to share. I'll just throw it in there real quick. So it was a mobile game where you receive a Pokemon egg, and it's like it's and you have to walk around and care for it.
Tamagotchi.
Yes, it's a Tamagotchi, but with Pokemon. Only you're not going to die if you don't feed them. They will, however, become very weak. So then but that way you don't, like, if you don't check on them for a few weeks, you can get them back if you want to. But the idea is that, like, I wanted it to be sort of similar to the TV show or the other trainers that you encounter in the game, where they only have, like, at most 6 Pokemon. You never encounter anybody who's like, oh, I've got like 300 Pokemon in my box, right? That's just the player character ever has that many Pokemon. So I thought it would be kind of cool to you can only get the Pokemon from eggs, and then you build a team of 6, and that is it. You get your 6 Pokemon. You can trade them to other people if you want, but you're not. The only way to get them is via trade or via an egg, and then you can battle people, in real life.
Are all the eggs random? Do you know what you're getting?
No, so that's I wanted it to be random because, like, I just wanted to force people to, like, care about a Pokemon that they wouldn't otherwise care about. We were talking about people don't have a favorite Pokemon. Stunfisk is no one's favorite Pokemon. Well, if this was the Pokemon that you got, like when you got your Digimon, you didn't know which Digimon you were getting.
That's true.
But you cared for that Digimon even if you hated the type. Like, you wished it was some other type, but you cared about it. I want to force people to care about whatever Pokemon they get. That's why you have to nickname them as soon as they hatch. You have to give them a nickname.
Oh, wow.
Make it personal.
I hate nicknames for my Pokemon.
Me too, don't worry.
Well, if I could just drop in my last one.
Yeah.
My close fourth. It's a Musou game similar to Hyrule Warriors, Dynasty Warriors, where it's called Pokemon Warriors in the Kalos, where, like, 3,000 years ago in Pokemon X and Y, they had that giant war with another region that never specified which one. So I thought it'd be cool to play like that, since they use Pokemon as weapons. And, like, each attack would be a different old Pokemon. Like Greninja, Delphi, Cressenon, Aegislash. And then, battle through that. So that'd be a cool thing that I'm surprised hasn't been a thing.
Yeah, especially since they already have such a great partnership with the developers of Dynasty Warriors and all that.
I feel like it's Tohei Tecmo, unless I'm...
Tecmo. Koei
Tecmo.
Koei Tecmo.
Yeah, like we have Fire Emblem Warriors, 2 Hyrule Warriors games. Yeah, they could definitely do it.
Okay, well, so those are all the games that we had in mind. So now we're going to finish out the show with our last segment, Rank That Pokemon. Yay.
Theme song pending.
So I'm just happy that Floatzel is not first anymore.
I was going to make a joke earlier when you said that about your favorite region and it being Sinnoh. I was going to say, yeah, we wouldn't have Floatzel without it.
Well, there's always... when you go to the bathroom, there's always going to be one turd. So, like...
Oh, man. And it's a Floatzel.
Yeah, and it floats.
So this week we are discussing Pokemon number 757, which is Salandit. And I'm pulling it up on the Bulbapedia for you guys right now. You can watch it, see what it looks like in case you have forgotten. Salandit, Poison Fire type. That's pretty cool.
And that's it.
You're not a Salandit fan, Harry?
I do not. I find it's a lizard. Cool. We have like 12 of those. The typing, I will grant it, is cool.
Yes,
Poison
Fire is pretty cool.
I did not looks kind of cool, but
I thought the shiny was cool too. But I wish the whole thing was white instead of just the body is white and the head's black. I find that so strange.
I like the shiny sprite, and especially knowing how difficult it is. Well, basically, I'm giving Salandit a little credit for how hard it is to get a shiny Salazzle, because the ratio is 87.5% male to 12.5% female. So catching a female Salandit is rare enough. Catching a shiny female Salandit is nigh impossible. So I mean I think it's pretty unique, in that regard. But I'm not the only one talking here. So
No,
Jerry's not a fan.
I guess I didn't really even know that the male Saladins didn't evolve.
Yeah, it's just
Correct.
Just the females evolve.
That's super weird, but at the same time, it's kind of cool that they added that feature in, because like I don't know of any other Pokemon that don't evolve. Depending on their, Combi. Okay. So it's very limited on the number of.
Yeah, it's a rare thing, where only one gender of the Pokemon evolves, which I think is as cool as it is frustrating. You know what I mean?
Having said all of that, though, I have never really cared too much about Salandit. Like it's not a Pokemon that I go out of my way to use. Really, like I'm trying to scroll through the Bulbapedia here.
I like the shiny sprite. I'm gonna pull that back up so people can see that. There's the shiny sprite.
I do think the evolution Salazzle looks pretty cool. But like even there, it's like even the shine. I guess the shiny for Salazzle. If I was ranking Salazzle, I'd probably rank it a little bit higher. But for Salandit, I don't really have a whole lot. I'm not torn either way on this.
Well, so first, let's do our. We're going to count down our top 10.
Yeah,
we've got Bellsprout at a 2. Qfant is number 10 is Bellsprout with a 2. Number 9 Qfant 2.5. Number 8 Delibird 3. 7 Hariyama 3.5. 6 Duat 3.5. 5 Rookie D 3.5. 4 Shieldon 3.5. 3 Rockruff 4. 2 Floatzel 4. And number 1 right now for us is Surfetched with a 4.
Surfetched was a good choice. But I would give Saladin like a 2. The typing's cool. Beyond, like, I don't think it's as cruddy as Scrafty.
Okay. So you're saying a 2. So you're saying that Salandit, looking at what Salandit looks like, even just on appearance alone, you think it's on the level of Bellsprout?
I don't think it's better than Delibird.
Well, but Delibird's at a 3.
So what you think? Hold on, let me ponder on Qfant.
I think Qfant is cuter. So
I like Salandit has kind of like a little smirk going, and his eyes are like he's having a good time. This is
I'm not having a good time with him, so I don't care.
Okay. I mean, I'm not campaigning for Salandit to be like a top tier Pokemon here, but
it's not.
I think that for me, it's easily a 3.
I'm going to stick with my 2.
Okay.
I could split the middle here and just say it's I would put it at a 2.5 then between you guys.
Okay.
All right, so now let's decide between Qfant and Salandit then.
Qfant's the only thing it's got going for it is that it's cute.
I do like Qfant's evolution better.
Okay.
So the potential
Caparage is pretty good.
Yeah, the potential for being less trashy. So I would put Saladin below Qfant.
If we were ranking Salazzle, I do like Salazzle. I think maybe more than Caparaja. I haven't decided yet.
But you like Qfant better than Saladin.
I do like Qfant better than Saladin.
Okay, well, so that's gonna lock it in. So that means that now number 10 Salandit at a 2.5. Number 9 Qfant Delibird is at 8.
Bellsprout out of here at least.
7 is Hariyama. 6 is Duat. 5 Rookie D. 4 Shieldon. 3 Rockruff. 2 Floatzel. Number 1 Surfetched.
And a Surfetched and a pear tree.
So that's gonna do it for this week.
They're gonna do what?
That's gonna do what for this week. That's gonna be the end of our show. Thankfully, we're gonna end after that horrible pun.
I feel like you've done that before too.
We might have. God, I hope that doesn't become a thing.
It all blurs together.
So, we don't know what our topic's going to be for next week, but We do know that we're going to be back sometime next week with another episode of Pod-ket Monsters. I wanted to thank Harry for coming on. This was a really fun idea coming up with Pokemon. It was hard for me to not just keep putting in more details on my games because well, there's a point where this is just pointless.
Well, it's also hard too because you want other people to put in opinions. So if you put too much out there, then other people can give you feedback on things because they're don't really have a whole lot of feedback. All right, I guess it'd just be critiquing what you have, but.
Yeah. So, but thank you, Harry. That was a lot of fun coming up with those. Where can people find you, Harry?
So you can find me writing stuff at 61indie.com, which is a cool website that we try to amplify voices of indie games and developers, publishers, and everyone associated with that, as well as on Twitter at IllGrillChill. So ILLGRILLCHILL. Very flowy, out your mouth kind of.
Yeah, it's a really good Twitter handle. No lie, it's fantastic.
IllGrillChill, I love it.
But yeah, so and obviously we've had Mike on from 61 Indie in the past as well. So
we're big fans of 61
Dustin and
Indie.
I are fans of what y'all are doing over at 61indie.com. So please keep that up. And if you're watching, please go visit their website. They got reviews. They got previews on upcoming indie titles.
There's an interview coming out with the creator of Emily is Away, right?
Yep. Emily is Away Heart, which is the third one.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, just as a side note, my first publication on the site was Pokemon-inspired indie games for the 25th anniversary. So
check that out.
Yeah, so enjoy that.
As always, you can find me here on Twitch at Good Game Grizz. And you can find Dustin at DDanger10 on Twitch. And our Twitters are Good Game Grizz and D_Danger10 respectively. But more importantly, follow at Pod-ket Monsters on Twitter, where you will get updated about upcoming stuff for the shows, if we have questions that we want people to answer. And also, of course, follow us on YouTube.
Yep. Podcast services as well, too.
Podcast services
and then just to add on to that, too, we'll try to be a little bit more on top of tweeting out ahead of time what our topics are going to be. We'll try to be more on top of what our topics were. I knew this one kind of came in a little late with when we were recording and everything like that, so we apologize for that if it was not a whole lot of notice to catch it live. But
either way, we look forward to having you back here on the podcast. Harry, you were fantastic, as we expected you would be.
Harry.
And look forward to seeing you again. I'm sure we'll find a good opportunity to bring you back on here as well.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime.
Thanks, guys. It was
a
lot of fun.
Until next time, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful week.
Bye.